After everything that we have moved through this week, the endings, the wounds, the opportunities, the whispers of release, this weekend will deliver the clarity we have been waiting for. Okay, it's like this light turns on within us. And those scattered thoughts, that heavy emotion, that conversation that seemed to circle and circle and circle without resolution, suddenly they all begin to sharpen into focus. And we can now see clarity, understanding. We can name what we've been afraid to say. And in that clarity, we're given the power to step up. Step up or step forward with intention. The dots begin to connect. The story begins to make sense. And the truth inside of us finally has words to rise so that we are heard, we are seen. So join me as we dive into understanding how to embrace this energy. And it's my hope that by the time together is done, it's my hope that you have the tools, the insight to go forward with confidence and definitely clarity, love. So hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you. Thank you truly for being here, okay? Let me know you were here with a thumbs up or a comment. Thank you for all the positive, loving support you send me each and every day. You guys absolutely rock. Welcome to your weekend focus, September the 13th and the 14th, 2025. So Saturday we have the energy of the 13. Now the 13 gets the bad rap for being an unlucky number, but if you follow me, you know that the opposite is true. The 13 is a very lucky number. Sometimes what happens to us under a 13 energy doesn't seem so lucky. We felt like we needed that, or we had to have that, or now we have this void in our life in some place where we didn't want one. But when we look back in time, we go, remember when this happened and I took this step forward? Wow. I can't even imagine a life not being this life. It'll take you by surprise. It will take you by surprise, and most times the 13 does feel like it's a burden or a loss of some sort in our lives. But it actually turns out to be the most spectacular thing that could ever happen to you. It writes you on your path. 1 plus 3 is a 4. The 4 is about getting your ducks in a row. It's about our foundation and building it solid, strong, so that we can build on it with true success. Home and family as well, absolutely. And if we looked at the daily numerology for Saturday, it would be a 9 plus a 4 plus a 9, and that gives us that amazing 22 energy. Of all days to have a 22 energy. The 22 energy is it's starting anew. It's a brand new path. It's a brand new way of doing, being, becoming. The 22 energy can just make all your dreams and desires kind of just all snap into place at once. But where is your focus? Where is your attention? Because you know now that your attention has to be on the things that you want to grow, the things that you want to step into, the things that you want to make tangible. Under a 22 energy, set your intentions accordingly, okay? Ask yourself, what am I doing? And is it what I should be doing? What's most important? Am I giving it the time, the energy, maybe perhaps my resources in order to flourish in that area of my life? Sunday, we have the 14 energy. The 14 energy is about having more by having less, to understand what you truly need, not what society or your peers or your parents or that person of authority told you needed, but rather what you need in order to be happy. Maybe you're the kind of person that if you had a couple dozen eggs and some sourdough bread, a little bit of butter, you'd be fine for a week without anybody bothering you. Or maybe it's fresh sliced tomatoes out of the garden. On toast, right? With a little bit of mayo, salt, and pepper. Oh my gosh, there's nothing like it, but it has to be out of the garden. It really does. Understand what you truly need. And then that's where that's your starting points. Is this already a part of my life? Do I need to incorporate it into my life? 1 plus 4 is a 5. 5 is a very busy energy. But one of joy and celebration and happiness. And, you know, the 5 energy is about laughter and having fun and being present and being in the moment. And even though there may be 1,001 chaotic things happening around you, for some reason you're enjoying every moment of it. That's the 5 energy. Now, the daily numerology for Sunday would be a 9 plus a 5 plus a 9, and that gives us a 23. And the 23 is about having faith, having a belief that there is something greater than you, and maybe it's your higher self even, but something greater than you is preparing a path forward for you as we speak. That they are waiting for you to approach it. So the 5 energy is, we're in kind of a release kind of energy with the full moon, the lunar eclipse, and we're moving towards the solar eclipse. So we have to understand, if we really want to step into a dream, a desire, a want, maybe it's a career change, a new relationship, a new way of being healthy, or maybe it's growing your abundance, growing your career, whatever it might be, okay? But to look at it as, this is what I want to do going forward. What is blocking me, or what is not present in my life right now that I need to incorporate? And so some things have to go in order for us to bring it in. If you want to start working out, then you have to have that 30-minute window, right? Maybe you need an hour window for travel time. So where do you take that hour from? And making sure that you're balanced. So, you just don't ghost a friend or something because you're going to work out. You tell them, hey, I've decided to work out, and I know we meet on this day for our tea or our coffee or just to get together and a snack. A little bit of communication goes a long way. So don't burn bridges under a 5 energy. Okay, sometimes we get caught up in the moments and we forget. We forget to text somebody that we're okay, or we're running late, or whatever it might be. Anyways, I'm babbling. Let's get to you. Astrology. Sun is in Virgo. Our moon is in Gemini. I think it's very late on Sunday night that the moon moves into Cancer, so we're not even going to talk about that. Moon is in Gemini. Okay, so recap. First we had the lunar eclipse in Pisces. So that's endings, release. And it was heavy and it was emotional. And for many of us, it cracked something open that cannot be ignored now. And from there, the moon met Saturn, the Neptune, Ceres, and Eris, and Chiron. Okay, and one after another, it kind of peeled back the layers on us, didn't it? Okay, first it was Saturn, reminding us of our responsibilities, our obligations, our limits. Neptune blurred the lines a little bit, but it whispered to trust our deep intuition. Ceres reminded us that nurturing sometimes looks like bravery. That we don't retreat, that we stand and fight for who we are. And Eris stirred up that feeling of being overlooked, not being seen, not being heard, not being recognized, not being respected, maybe. And then Chiron came in and exposed the raw wounds underneath that hurt, that pain that arose. Okay, so, and that sequence was all part of what was the heart of the 999, the cosmic audit portal that is still going on. We still have 2 more trips through this, okay? But it really was a karmic check-in of what we can't carry anymore. It burdens us now. It hinders us in some way. It holds us back. And maybe it used to make us thrive, but it no longer serves that purpose. So we have to look at all facets of our life. Okay, so then the energy began to shift. Okay, and we had the South Node, who we never talk about, right smack dab in the middle of all of this energy. saying we need to release this, we need to release that. It's all the old, it's all the tried. I've got the t-shirt, been there, done that kind of energy. And we're wondering, what stories need to be, put by the wayside. It was your story, but who have you become now? That is your story. And to start looking at yourself as the story is unfolding. And we're at chapter 1, right? We have an eclipse coming, so we can be on chapter 1 if you so desire. So the sun sextile Jupiter, and then Mercury sextile Jupiter, and optimism began creeping back in again, and we started having the conversations, we started having the thoughts, the ideas. We had some small opportunity, perhaps, show up in our life, and the heaviness gave way to a sense of possibility. It is possible. And that brings us to this weekend. Okay, so Mercury is sitting in the heart of the sun. And there's an actual saying for it. I can't remember it right now, but I came across it. And really what it is, it's so intense, right? Because we have the sun sitting there, and then Mercury's going to cross over. And at one point, it's going to be right in the middle of the sun, the heart of the sun. And so this is a moment of pure illumination. Okay, it's a moment of piercing awareness. Everything Mercury rules, whether it's your thoughts, your ideas, your conversations, your messages, what you write, what you're learning, it's all supercharged, okay, by the sun's light. And in Virgo, this sharpens the focus on details and clarity and truth. So it's like there's a spotlight on our inner dialogue, showing us what has been clouded or in a fog. And we need to see these things with fresh eyes. And that's where the old story meets the new understanding. Okay, the eclipse cracked us open. We walked through everything. The South Node showed up to show us what to release. Jupiter offered, opportunity, expansion. And now the conjunction just sharpens it all into clarity. And we can move forward if we've sat with these things, if we've done the work throughout the week. So, and not that nothing will happen. Some things are just destined to happen. But most times when we turn our energy towards those things and we work through them when we know we should be, it helps us with a greater success. It's like we're being catapulted instead of walking for a short time. Okay, so this weekend, the question needs to become, what do I understand now about myself that I didn't a week ago? What truths are clear to me now? Where have I been allowing illusion to play a part? And how do I want to speak it? How do I want to write it? How do I want to live it moving forward? Okay, this is a time to speak, to write, to share, declare what has become clear to you. Even those conversations we've been avoiding, okay? This is when the resolutions show up. The truth has a way of rising. We all know that because we've all fibbed and got caught red-handed because of our stupid fib. So we all know that is truth has a way of rising. And in clarity, it could be an aha moment. I mean, just boom, it arrives suddenly to us. A eureka moment. Like that light switch flipping on. So pay attention to your thoughts, the conversations you're having. Whatever small nudge comes through this weekend, okay? Pay attention. And Virgo makes this energy an excellent time to map out our next steps, to work the plan, to see how we can take what we've learned and make it a reality going forward. Okay, the energy is about clarity. It supports choices, conversations, the very steps we take. So what was once confusing now is going to make sense. The words we need find us. The choices we've been circling, they suddenly seem possible, doable. This clarity is a gift, okay? Because it's the heart of the sun. It's being electrified for us. So it helps us move towards joy with confidence, towards love with an open heart, towards success with looking at the finer details, and trusting that the truth is rising within us, letting it shape the way we act, the way we talk, the way we, well, how we believe in ourselves. So as we move through this weekend, and into the week ahead, this energy lasts, I think, up till Wednesday or something, Tuesday for sure. Let the clarity that has come to the surface become your compass. Trust it. Allow it to guide you. Guide you to that new chapter that's just awaiting you around the corner. Okay, we'll go to the cards. And we have, as an underlying energy for this weekend, the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is here telling us that we worry. We worry when we look at the little details. Sometimes we overthink it. We worry, we get concerned, we fabricate what could possibly happen, what could possibly go wrong. And, in a way that you are actually summoning that energy into being. So, especially with the 22 energy this weekend and all the beautiful energy that surrounds us this weekend, this is a time to use your thoughts and use your words and redirect them to the what ifs, but play it upwards. What if I started that little boutique? What if somebody wanted to franchise it? What if I ended up in 3 states or 2 provinces or 2 countries or worldwide? What if? Start growing the dream to the extent you want to see it, okay? And it's very hard when you kind of get that monkey mind going on all the things that we need to do and all the things that interfere and all the things that stop us from actually going forward and the little worries and the little concerns we grow. You said something at work and the office just... And then it was 5 o'clock Friday, so everybody left. Nobody made eye contact with you. They just all shuffled out, and you kind of walked out and you went home. Now you're laying there and you're worried and you're concerned. What did I do? Why did I say that? I'm going to get fired. Monday morning, I'm going to get fired. For sure. And I'll be the laughing stock. I'll be the joke that they tell for years upon years upon years. I know my new replacement will hear it. Or you could go home and you could think, well, I said it. I said it. So there. It needed to be said. Everybody was thinking it. Enough is enough already. And, well, if I get fired, I get fired. That just opens me up to a new opportunity somewhere else. But I wasn't going to live under that lie anymore and keep my mouth shut. And Monday morning, you actually go into work and everyone's clapping and patting you on the back and congratulations because the boss made some new changes. Monday morning, it's all posted there and it's because of you and what you said and we were all thinking it. And, we allow ourselves to go to the most dismal thought possible. And I don't know why that is. I am researching it, and I did find some information, so I am following that rabbit hole. Down I go. But for now, our instinct is to think of the negative, think of what can go wrong, keep us safe, right? Keep us safe. And that was okay when the saber-toothed tiger was going to attack us, but in today's world, it does us harm. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is here to say this is a time to grow your abundance. This is a time to, grow your abundance. I heard get rich. And that could be good health. That could be great friendship, great love in your life. Okay, what does that mean to you? What would make you feel like you were rich beyond measure? Now, he is the richest king in the deck. He holds his money out there. He can't even hold it in his lap. It's too big. He's got to straddle it. And he really banks on the tried and true. What's worked in the past, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But he does wear a crown, a living crown of a vine. So that means we need to be innovative and think of twists and turns and add-ons that might add to the, to think of just the toaster alone. Okay, I remember I had this toaster. It was all metal with these two little wooden handles, right? And they were hard to kind of grip. You always ended up burning, like, part of your one finger, right? You put it on the frame. Anyways, you turn it down and you put the bread there, and then you put it up, and they would grill that side. Then you take it down and you turn the toast over and be all white and fluffy, and then you put it back and you do it the other way. And sometimes, I'd put the butter on first, and oh my gosh, that was so good. Um, but now you just push a button and you tell it exactly how dark you want your toast to be, and voila. Sometimes you even have a timer on them now. There's all kinds of things, right? So, some are for bagels and some are for pastries and some are for just sliced bread. So by just taking the toaster, the tried and true, great. But now if we do all these different features, how much more money can be made here? How many more streams of revenue have we opened up by just doing some tweaks on the toaster? So it's that kind of thinking. It doesn't have to be, huge in order to be great. The chariot is here. The chariot is okay, but we don't want to just rush into things. Remember, we have the eclipse coming, the solar eclipse is coming. That's when we want to make the changes. Right now, we need to prepare ourselves. We still have a fog around us, okay? The sun isn't out in this card, right? So it's dark. So we really can't see our path as clearly as we want. And we need to have that confidence within us that we are taking the right steps to go forward. So we do need to work the plan a little bit before we actually go forward with this card. We also have the Seven of Swords. And this is about not telling the world what you're going to do, but just tell yourself and go and do it. Okay, somebody will try and manipulate your words, use your words against you in some way, stab you in the back in some way. You really, don't be so trusting. Don't be so trusting with your dreams, with your desires, with your goals right now. Okay, yeah, you have the inner circle. That's great. But after that, be careful. This is also understanding what we really truly need to take with us. We walked by two swords that were straight up, and we're bending over and trying to juggle the other ones in our arms while we pick up that other one, because we know we needed the other one. We didn't really need the other two. They were handy. We could take them with us, but in the long run, they're just going to burden us. They're just going to weigh us down. Okay, we've got a brand new deck. If you haven't been here for a bit, or you just found out I'm back, and I'm so glad I'm back. Okay, the Ancient Stones Oracle. Now I'm just trying this out, and I thought, we'll go through the deck together. We'll look at the book a little bit. You tell me. Now I find them. The only thing I find is that they're very pale. You'll see what I mean. But we had it 2 days and we picked the same card both days. So today, do we get a new card? We do. Okay, returning. You see how they're kind of light, but I mean, really, that is the picture. Okay. So what does it say there? Spiral journey. Spiral journey. Growth, renewal, healed. A spiral journey. Okay, so we'll go to the book. Now, it's pretty long. Okay, well, we'll work through it. If anything, I would like to go here for, they have an Ancient Stones activation. Okay, and it's, I surrender to the spiral journey of my life. I ask the stones labyrinths to reveal to me how I'm changing, growing, healing with every step. And they do, the one thing I really liked about this is all the pages of the research that they did in order to have some true, some believe that Glastonbury Tor, a sacred hill in southwest England that draws people from near and far, is a labyrinth. Legend says it was once part of a druid initiation rite in which initiates, yeah, would walk around its perimeter before winding upwards until they reached the top. A labyrinth has a single path that spirals inward to the center point, and ancient stone labyrinths have been uncovered all over the world. As a symbol, it is also seen in prehistoric rock carvings. You see what I mean with this deck? Like, it gives us, something to look into, something to go down our own rabbit hole with. The same path that leads in also leads out. As a symbol, the labyrinth can represent the spiral journey of life. It can also represent the inner journey into the soul to explore our inner nature and back out again into the physical world, having gained a deeper understanding of ourselves. Amongst many other things, the labyrinth can be used for insight and clarity, decision making, releasing the past, new beginnings, and a way to connect with our ancestors. The returning card is a reminder to trust the spiral journey of your life, to trust life through all of its changes. And when you think that you may be over a pattern or a lesson, to circle back to it a little more changed than before. This card often appears as a sign of that growth is happening, that healing is happening, that you're facing a pattern or lesson again, but in a brand new way. For you're not who you were before. You have grown. So I surrender to the spiral journey of my life now makes a lot more sense. And I wouldn't have been able to give you that information or tap into it as strongly. But then I think I went to a spa retreat and they had a labyrinth out back that you could walk and everything. And it was just basically a circle going in with stones marking the path. And it gave you time to like do a walking meditation, to go within, to understand something a little bit more about yourself. So, does your country have labyrinths? They said there's labyrinths all over the world. So, let's know where you're from and if you know of a labyrinth in your area. I know of one in mine. So, okay, we have balance with the moose. Well, he's got a bluebird in each antler. Where are you, Mr. Moose? There you are. Moose is nice and short. Balance, release, recalibrate, and dignity. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. And that's about bringing your talents and your abilities out. You may not be able to do a lot of things, but there are things that you can do like nobody else can. And to allow that to emerge from you. Moose tells you it's time for you to realign your purpose. By looking within and noting what you are doing outwardly, you will begin to see where you need to recalibrate your life. Balance is key to enjoying your life, but many times it's lacking. You may feel as if though you are on a teeter-totter. Sometimes your moods are up, sometimes down. Don't allow a brief moment in time to destroy your balance. Moose walks with dignity. It's a time for you to hold your head high and stand tall. And I truly do believe that. So the clarity comes in. Okay, our words, our thoughts, our ideas, they're like magic right now. They are so infused with the sun's energy. So utilize this weekend and Monday, Tuesday, maybe even a little bit on Wednesday, okay, before this energy leaves us. Because we have been working this whole week in order to have the tools available to us to transform ourselves, transform our life in maybe some small way or maybe some gigantic step forward. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.